Okay, next up we have the tangential thought process. And the real utility of this is when you think about the differential diagnosis. And to me, this is actually the coolest part of all these videos that I'm making, and all the thought processes really, because it allows you to understand the differential diagnosis in space and time, and it really helps you clarify so much when you're trying to work up a patient. So the first thing that I'd like to do is I make a problem list, which are these lines, okay, and then I try to populate the diagnoses with these circles, and then I use Occam's razor to try to simplify that. Okay, that sounds, just forget about this for 1 second, forget about all these things, and just think about a Venn diagram, all right? So you have this thing on the left and this thing on the right, all right, and these are distinct on either side, and in the middle we have things that are common. Okay, so there's these 2 points where these circles intersect, and there's a whole bunch of symptoms in between where things may be similar and may be confusing. Okay, let's just forget about that for now and just move these circles out so that they only intersect at this point right here. Okay, so we're basically going to swing this out, okay, and then it's just going to intersect at this one point right here, and this is the same thing over here. All right, and now these only are tied together by this one point. They're kind of close together. I'm just going to space them out. All right, so we're going to move this circle over here, all right, and then this circle over here. So this is circle X, circle Y, right, X, Y. Looks similar right there, but you have X and you'll have Y over here, right? Now, what we can do is we can take this symptom, and this is the line for this entire symptom, and then we can add on from the problem list another symptom over here. And we can see, okay, do these symptoms intersect at X? Yes. Okay. Do they intersect at Y? No. So this symptom is distinct for Y, this is distinct for this. But you can also make it so that these line up, right? So if you had a symptom that was shared by these two things, all you would need to do is you would draw a line that connects these two things, and that would be a symptom. And so you could understand this Venn diagram. Instead of thinking it on the inside, you could think about it on the outside, right? That's what I do here. Okay, so I just create, based on the problem list, things that I need to make sense of for the patient. So if someone has a fever, if someone has nuchal rigidity, purpura, right, I would put all of those things on these lines, and I would understand the problem list in like visual space. All right, and then what you could do is you could just simply find out, all right, what do all these things line up and what do they mean? Okay, on the fever, there's a long laundry list of things that could cause a fever, okay? If you just have any infection would do that, okay? But if you have a fever along with nuchal rigidity, all right, we're really thinking of meningitis here, right? And then if you also have the purpura, right, from this line over here, okay, the fever, the nuchal rigidity, and the purpura would definitely give us meningitis. Whereas if we just had the fever and the purpura, we would get HSP. That's something we wouldn't think about. And then we could also add on like something different in terms of like, you know, like the kidney problems that we see in HSP, right? And then versus like nuchal rigidity, what could just cause nuchal rigidity on its own? If you had like a football player and it was the day after the football game, right, and they came in with like neck pain, you'd probably want to work them up for like MSK pain. That's probably why their neck may be stiff, right? It's not necessarily meningitis. But if they also then have a fever and they also have purpura, right, you're thinking more of meningitis, right? So I think that this is one of the most interesting aspects of the thought processes, and I think it's not only beneficial on exams, but for on the wards and in real life when you're trying to work up a patient.